What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Truthcast TV. Why in the fuck would we need aluminum resistant seeds? I'm sure it's because it's got nothing to do with them spraying aluminum and barium into the atmosphere for the past 10 years that we know of anyway, probably longer. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with all them chemtrails they've been spraying for the past 10 years that I've noticed. I'm sure it's not because of that. I'm sure it's not because of all of that aluminum that they've been putting into the fucking stratosphere. I'm sure it's not because it's been coming down into the soil and contaminating it so fucking bad that farmers in some parts of the world can't even grow crops anymore because they want to blame it on global warming or climate change or population growth. These people could grow whatever the fuck they wanted to 15, 20 years ago. Now all of a sudden, they need aluminum resistant seeds. Oh my God. And there's still some people out there that's so busy looking at their fucking phone and believing everything CNN tells them to look up in the fucking sky and tell the difference between a contrail and a fucking chemtrail. Now, all my subscribers, y'all already know that I've exposed chemtrails several different times. I've did a couple different videos on them, and one of them I even did a time-lapse video from like 11 in the morning when I first come outside to mow the yard and do some other yard work till the time I quit about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. At 11 in the morning, it was a pretty blue, beautiful blue sky. And by 4 o'clock in the daytime, it was a milky, white, shitty looking sky. Not only that, but they sprayed so much it created a halo effect around the sun. It created a halo with a rainbow effect. Now, whether you believe in chemtrails or not, you gotta ask yourself, why the fuck would they create aluminum resistant seeds? Now, I'm gonna read this to you what they say, and it's gonna be a bunch of big words and a bunch of bullshit. Okay? But the real reason we need aluminum resistant seeds is because when they contaminate the soils all over the fucking world bad enough to where farmers can't grow shit, just regular citizens can't grow shit no more, then guess what? You're going to have to come to Monsanto and buy some aluminum resistant seeds. Does that make sense now? Monsanto has created a genetically engineered aluminum resistant seed. Why does Monsanto need aluminum resistant seeds? Good fucking question, eh? Small-scale, resource-poor farmers in developing countries face daily stresses including poor soils, drought, and lack of inputs. Ongoing trends such as climate change and population growth will likely exacerbate binding stresses. A new generation of genetically engineered crop research aims to alleviate these pressures through the improvement of subsistence crops such as cassava, sorghum, and millet that incorporate traits such as tolerance to drought, water, and aluminum in soils, as well as plants with more efficient nitrogen and phosphorus use. However, many developing countries lack the necessary biosafety systems for a timely and cost-effective adoption. The brief focuses on the regulatory reforms necessary for farmers and consumers in developing countries to benefit from genetically engineered crops. High amounts of aluminum can be a problem to plants. Yeah, no shit. And it can also be a problem to human beings breathing that fucking shit in that they're spraying into the atmosphere. That's the reason why dementia, that's the reason why Alzheimer's, that's the reason why asthma, COPD is at an all-time high. That's the reason why Tourette syndrome's at an all-time high. Not to mention the metals that are in vaccinations. Not to mention all the deadly metals that are in vaccinations that they don't tell you about. But I digress. It seems the high acid soils are more likely to guarantee a high amount of toxic aluminum. According to this article from Cornell University, which is one of the universities that's helping Harvard and Yale scientists come up with the plan to spray the atmosphere with aluminum and barium, because they claim it's going to create a layer, like if a volcano erupts, how it would spew ash into the atmosphere, like Mount St. Helens did back in 1980. It spewed so much ash so high up into the atmosphere, it actually cooled part of the planet down by like a ½ degree. And if you don't believe me, research it, Google it. I don't give a shit. And they're trying to create that same type of scenario, that same type of effect, by spraying aerosols like aluminum and barium into the atmosphere, so it can bounce the sun's rays back into space, so it won't warm the planet up. These fucking left-wing radical liberals believe the planets that we're going to die in 12 years. There's no such thing as global warming. There is such thing as climate change, though. But climate change has been around since the earth has been here, as far as we know. Ask the Egyptians, ask the Mayans, ask the Aztecs, ask the dinosaurs, ask the cavemen. I'm sure they didn't cause global warming back then, did they? Anyway, I digress. When the soil becomes so contaminated with all of this shit they're spraying into the sky, especially aluminum, aluminum is deadly to not only our soils, our plants, our insects, our birds. That's why you see birds dropping out of the fucking sky all of a sudden. Not to mention because of the 5G too. All the fucking RF waves that are fucking hitting these birds and hitting these animals, it's fucking them up. It's fucking them up too really bad. But also the aluminum and the barium that they're spraying in the skies every day, relentlessly, all day long, and every part of the fucking world. Not only is it killing our insects, our wildlife, but it's killing the soil. And when the soil becomes so contaminated you can't even grow a plant no more, then you got to come to them to buy aluminum resistant seeds. Because now all of a sudden they say, population growth and climate change is making the soil have a lot more aluminum in it than it did before. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone. So now all of a sudden we've got a problem with aluminum in our soil because of population growth, and climate change. Not because they're spraying it to the sky relentlessly all day, every day, because of climate change and population growth. That's the reason why they created aluminum resistant seeds. Yeah, right. Remember, stay woke, and I'm out.